So guys, today we're about to cook one of the most searched recipes on YouTube with my friend over here, Abhishek, who's from Bombay, who'll help me put this dish together since it's one of his main specialties. So Abhishek, tell us, what are we doing today?
Okay, tell me something, Ahmed. What comes to your mind when you talk about non-veg related to India?
Well, Abhishek, I could think of tandoori chicken and butter chicken.
That's exactly what we're trying to make it today.
So this restaurant basically came up with this recipe and this dish because they had a lot of leftover grilled chicken that they did not want to throw away. So they decided to create a gravy and rehydrate and reuse this chicken, and they called it butter chicken. Wow, that's what you call creativity. So guys, we have a lot to do. It's a quite simple recipe, I believe,
Exactly.
but the concept is quite simple. So I believe anyone could cook this, and there's so many ways to cook this recipe.
If you check, YouTube, you have 100 recipes of 100 people all together. But then afterwards, I'm trying to make the one which I have been making it, and I've been eating it since I've been a kid.
Wow, that's great, guys.
Yeah.
So let's start working, and we'll show you how this is done. Well, now our tomatoes are chopped and ready. We have our sliced onion, we have our garlic. What's the next step?
So there are two parts of making a butter chicken. Part one is basically the base, for which our ingredients are all set. Part two is basically the chicken for the tandoori. So as we rightly said, we'll have to marinate the chicken, keep it for at least good 3 to 4 hours for it to suck in all the sauces, and then afterwards we just grill it later on.
Okay, so the base is the butter sauce itself,
Exactly.
which we will have to basically slow cook
Exactly.
in order to create the gravy.
Yeah.
Excellent. So let's go ahead and marinate our chicken. All right, guys. So right here we have roughly around 12 to 1300 grams of chicken thigh, boneless, versus chicken breast. The reason I'm using chicken thighs is because it comes out really nice and tender and juicy. Unlike the chicken breast, it tends to get extremely dry. So we will start the marination for the chicken. So first we will go ahead and start with our Kashmiri chili powder, which will give it a beautiful bright red color to the chicken. Next we have our coriander powder, same 1 tablespoon crushed. Third, we have 1 teaspoon of garam masala. Then we have our chopped garlic, roughly around, I would say, anywhere from 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons, depends on your liking. We have 2 tablespoons of curd yogurt. And then we have our rock salt as per your liking. And then finally, we're gonna use roughly around 1 tablespoon of mustard oil in order to get that nice smoky taste flavor to our chicken. And now we will go ahead and mix all the ingredients together and make sure the entire chicken is nicely coated with the spices and the marination that we have tried to create here. And next we will go ahead and cover our chicken with a saran wrap and put it away in the fridge to marinate for the next 4 hours.
So now we'll be making the second part, which is the base, for which we'll start off with 1 tablespoon of oil. To which I'm also adding in 1 tablespoon of butter. Once the oil is heated up and the butter is melted, you're adding in 3 sliced onions, We'll saute the onions till they are nice and translucent. So once the onions are nicely translucent, we're going to be adding in our tomatoes. There's roughly about 4 to 5 chopped tomatoes that we have in out here. So once the tomatoes are added, we'll go ahead and put on all our spices, starting off with red chili powder. This is again the Kashmiri red chili powder that we're adding in. We're adding 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 tablespoon of coriander powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin powder, and 1 tablespoon of crushed garlic. We'll go ahead and saute the entire thing for a good 1 or 2 minutes before we add in the water. Now I'll be adding in 250 ml of water so that it takes its own sweet time in terms of cooking, and after which now I'll be adding in salt as per your liking. Now we'll cover the pot with the lid and let it cook for at least 10 to 15 minutes. So this has been sitting around for good 10 to 15 minutes now. Looks nice and mushy. So what we'll be doing is we'll be heading out to the next step. First is we'll just shut the flame off, and then afterwards blend it into a nice puree.
Alright guys, as you could see, the gravy is ready. We have the tomatoes and the sauteed onions. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and use our mortar and puree this in order to form a nice smooth gravy. Okay guys, well, as you can see, the puree is completed. That's how we want the texture to be. And now we will go ahead and sieve it through to get all the tomato skins and the unnecessary parts out of it. We'll move to our next step where we will sieve the sauce. So we will fill the strainer with the sauce. And then we will go ahead and sieve the nice, smooth, concentrated puree and leave all the unnecessary skin, tomato skin, onion skin, everything behind. So guys, after sieving all the puree, as you could see, this is what's basically left behind. And this is what we want to make sure does not go inside our sauce. This is something we will throw away.
As you guys can see, our butter chicken gravy is ready. It's nice and smooth and silky. Now that's part 1 of the entire process. Now part 2 is where we're gonna be cooking the chicken. So I'm just taking this away at the moment. So as you guys can see, our chicken has been resting around. It's been marinated and resting around for good 3 to 4 hours now. Now the only process is to cook the chicken. So now I'll be putting in 1 tablespoon of oil and let it heat up for a while. Add in nicely marinated chicken.
Alright guys, remember to sear the chicken, we are not going to spend more time than 3 to 4 minutes each side. So we just want to create that nice char look on the outer side and make sure it's cooked. So 3 to 4 minutes on each side should be perfectly enough. Once all the chicken has been pan seared, we will go ahead and put it in a pot in order to give it the smoke effect. Alright guys, now we will go ahead and smoke our chicken. In order to do that, we will go ahead and take a small silver bowl, put a lighting charcoal in there, put few drops of any sort of olive oil over the charcoal to create the smoke, and cover it with a lid. And we will leave it covered for at least 3 to 5 minutes in order to give the chicken that nice smoky flavor where it would look like it was actually barbecued or charcoal.
Alright guys, we are on your final stages of making our butter chicken, for which I've just heated up a pan in which I'm going to be adding in the butter. To which I'll be pouring in straight up our butter chicken gravy. What we need to do now here is bring it on a boil, and then afterwards add our chicken which we've already cooked. Cook the gravy for at least 3 to 4 minutes depending upon the consistency that you're looking out for. It shouldn't be too thin or runny, or it shouldn't be thick as well. So as you guys can see, the gravy is as per the consistency that we're looking out for. Now it's time for us to add in the chicken pieces one by one, so that all the juices that you have which are in the chicken gets really absorbed, and the smokiness that we've done from the charcoal gets absorbed inside the gravy.
So guys, we will execute our dish with one of the main ingredients, which is the dry fenugreek. So we will go ahead and take roughly around, I would say, half a teaspoon and sprinkle it all over your chicken and let it simmer for another 1 or 2 minutes with that. It will give it a nice, beautiful, earthy flavor to the dish. Final ingredient, guys, we're about to execute our dish with roughly around 2 tablespoons of cooking cream. That's all you need. It will give it a nice creamy texture and make your gravy a little bit more thicker than it is. Guys, the moment of truth is here. Our butter chicken is ready. It smells amazing. You can smell the aroma all over the kitchen. So let's try this. Abhishek, this is amazing. The flavors are just so rich. You could taste the cardamom, the nutmeg, because garam masala has all these ingredients in it, and that's what makes this dish so aromatic, and that's exactly what we want. And the best thing I love about this particular dish is the smoke effect, the charcoal smoke effect that we have created in this dish by smoking it. That itself takes this dish to a whole extreme different level, where you actually cannot tell if you have pan fried the chicken or have you literally charcoal grilled the chicken. And that's what you want your guests to feel, that you have taken your time and the effort to grill your chicken rather than just pan frying it. Wow guys, I really am looking forward for you guys to try this recipe, and I guarantee you, you will thank me for it. And please don't forget to click this red subscribe button if you really enjoy my videos. I would really appreciate all your love and support. Until next time guys, peace out.